we have Dodger Mike. He is here. It just happens to be the Dodgers in the World Series, but he is owning and paying up a debt loss to us that we made with him earlier in the season for the series that LA came to Houston and we beat them. Losers will, and so he's paying his debt. So Dodger Mike, it's good to have you on, brother.
That's good to be here, man.
So guys, we got a lot of stuff going on. Right? Of course, we got the World Series going on. Yankees Dodgers. We'll get into that later. We'll get Mike's 2 cents about that. Got a little bit of Astros news. So yeah, that's what this episode is going to be about. So Chris, what do you think? What do you want to start with? You want to start with the new big news of the day, the third base coach signing?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Mike, I appreciate you fulfilling your end of the bargain. Don't forget that also, while you're here, I'd like to hear throughout the episode at least 5 good things about the Astros. So there's that as well. But at the end of the day, you will have the last laugh because your boys are in the World Series and our boys have been sitting at home for the last few weeks. So, yeah, I mean, like PK, pretty much led us into the biggest confirmed news of the day is that the coaching staff for the Astros have officially been announced, and with the only major change being the third base coach from Arizona has come over to take over the windmill spot. So I know when I saw it, this is going to be one of those days where, we'll look back and where are you on this day when the Astros announced their coaching staff in 2025?
That is true. True statement.
And, so it definitely has affected me, in every way possible.
So much so that I had to look up the guy's name.
Yeah. And even after looking it up, I'm still not 100% correct that I can pronounce it correctly.
So, I know it begins with a P and ends with
like
O.
It's like a Perez, like
Acho.
Perez Acho or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Something like that.
What do you think, Browse?
Well, if we're talking about our third base coach Perez Acho, then yeah, I guess I'm all in. I'll take the windmill as opposed to the Chief Hold'em up. That's whoa. But that's how that goes. Anyway, I'm just excited, man. We still have playoff baseball. We got World Series baseball. I know our Astros aren't in it, but hey, listen, baseball is baseball. I'll watch it. I don't care who it is, when it is, where it is. I will most definitely be watching. And who doesn't get excited about October baseball? So anyway,
well,
go ahead, guys.
Well, let's see. Yes, it's October baseball.
Yes.
And no offense, Dodger Mike, but it is the Yankees and Dodgers, and I could really give 2 shits about it, to be honest with you.
Who would you rather win, man? I mean,
can y'all both lose, or is there a tie? Do they do ties in the World Series? Actually, I really don't know. If I'm being honest with you, man, I probably want the Dodgers to win because I just want the Yankees to suffer, to be honest.
I mean, that's kind of what it boils down to. Like I've had, because our sales manager, well, I mean, he's not our manager, but he came out to me and he's like, hey, man, so you're going to root for the Dodgers? And I was like, man, I don't know. He's like, yeah, but you can't root for the Yankees. And he brings up a valid point. I mean, I want to say that my hatred for the Dodgers really came after that whole like trash can scandal thing kind of coming on. I mean, before then, like I never really paid much attention to him. I mean, but it's like it puts you like you're in a catch-22 outside of if you're a Yankee fan or a Dodger fan, because it's like, okay, if the Yankees win, then we got to hear obnoxious Yankee fans talk about, number 28. But then if the Dodgers win, it's like, then we got to hear them. But then I'll, kind of looking back.
But at the same time, though.
There we go.
You heard a whole bunch of shit from our 2020 World Series about how it wasn't a real championship. So, I mean.
Yeah.
So you're approving, right?
But then it should have been 3, right? They're going to say it should have been 3, not 2.
What do you mean?
Dodgers.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I was getting to. I was like, well, in 2020, I mean, granted, I wasn't like real big into like Twitter or X or whatever it was called. I mean, so I can't really remember the Dodger fans being that annoying. It was just a matter of like we always had something to say. Okay, cool story, Dodgers, with your Mickey Mouse World Series. I mean, so, but if I had to like make a choice of who I would rather see, I guess it'd have to be the guys in blue. I mean, like, because I would much rather deal with Dodger fans, because Dodger fans, I mean, y'all will just beat the shit out of each other at the end of the day anyway, So, but at least I would rather have to deal with the Dodgers winning, because again, we could still say, well, yeah, you should have won. You spent over $1 billion in free agency. I'd rather deal with that than deal with Yankee fan. So
at least they wouldn't have Cody Bellinger running his mouth.
That's true.
If y'all win this year,
I think
we do
that's
still
the
have Joe
biggest
Kelly,
plus.
though.
God, that guy.
God, don't.
That guy's a whole nother thing, man.
And the fact that you guys
that
put him on a mural on like the side of a building with him sticking his tongue out, that irritates me all day, every day. I'm just
Okay,
like,
but-
and it did its job. Hey, it did its job, because I don't. It's like it shouldn't bother me, but it does.
But Mike, as a Dodger fan, like, what do you really think of him? Like, honestly, Kelly.
Really? I mean, I think he's already past any prime that he actually had. Like, he's just pretty much on the team for now. I don't see him really being any kind of productive or advantage for us right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's like I said, I think I just would much rather see the Yankees suffer.
Yeah, I think, and it's
it'd be good for Ohtani, man. Like, Ohtani. It's like Mike Trout. Look, dude, you need to get the hell out of Anaheim, bro. See what happens when you leave.
Yeah,
and go to a real team.
I think once you strip down your hatred for the Dodgers or the Yankees, I mean, like, you still have to recognize, regardless of what uniform, I mean, real talent is real talent, and I agree with you. It sucked seeing them being wasted down in, the Angels. I mean, that's probably one of the most poorly ran franchises in the league, right? And I say that with what's going on in Oakland. But Otani's, I mean, at the end of the day, Benjamin told me he's rooting for the Dodgers because he likes Ohtani. And I was like, I can't. The only reason I'm saying it because, I told him, I was like, well, you don't let me tell Uncle Mike that, So,
yeah.
So then he said he was rooting for the
Smart
Yankees.
kid,
I'm like, then he tried to backtrack and say he was going to root for the Yankees. I'm like, no, just root for the Dodgers. It's fine. It's like I can't have.
You tell him not to talk
can't.
back to you like that.
Yeah, and then
Hey,
I was gonna
tell him what happened last time. He went against me. I beamed him. I'm surprised he don't still talk about that now.
No, I think he's moved on with his life. Maybe. So
game one's tomorrow. It's
Yeah.
in LA, right?
yeah.
Now,
Yes.
how did they decide the home field? They're not doing this at the All-Star game, right? Is that still a thing? Or is
No,
it
it's
just
best
record?
record.
No, that's been over. That hasn't been a thing for the last few years.
Well, good. I was quizzing you guys, and you all passed. So good job, guys.
I feel good about myself.
And Freddie Freeman, what's the story with him, Mike? Is he his ankle still
Last
jacked
thing I
up?
heard it. Yeah, last thing I heard, I'm not sure if he's gonna play game one. They're gonna let him rest that first game.
So who y'all put it first?
If our
Muncy?
best stay alive, we might not need him though. Mm-hmm.
Is it Muncy at first?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
And that guy too. That guy, like, I don't know what it is about his face, but like it really gets on my nerves. Maybe it's the fact that he's just really good. Also, like he
Who's that, Mookie?
got?
Yeah.
No,
Muncy.
Muncy.
Oh, Muncy.
I think he got like. I think he holds the postseason record for most consecutive at bats with getting on base, like at 14 or. Like, and he just broke it this postseason.
Yeah. Well, I think he's like 35 or 36, something like that.
Yeah, he's
And he
up
kind
there.
of came out of nowhere too.
Yes,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Multiple 30 home run seasons. I mean, like,
But he plays everywhere in the infield.
Yeah.
Where he can.
yeah, I think he came up as a catcher. I think he came up with Oakland too. They just like released him, and then the Dodgers picked him up. Yeah, I mean, and plus, I mean, like I will say the Dodgers have the fortune. I wouldn't say fortune, but they have something to play for where I think the Yankees don't. With Fernando passing away, they're gonna put they're putting his patch, I guess, on their sleeves. So, I mean, I just hate the Yankees. Like, I really fucking hate the Yankees. So
I can't really say a good thing about either team. Sorry, Mike. But it's honestly, I think it's going to be a good series. I think it's going to probably go 6 or 7. I mean, you're looking at two powerhouse teams that are going up against each other. The one thing that I will say, though, about the Dodgers, I feel, are a little bit diminished in the starting pitching area. I think they've got a much better bullpen than the Yankees have. Yeah. But, I mean, offensively, I think they're pretty much equal. I mean, you're looking at maybe I give the Dodgers a slight edge just because you're looking at, like, each position breaking it down. They're going to probably have that. It just seems like the Yankees tend to explode for home runs, more runs, like in spurts than the Dodgers do. I feel like the Dodgers are a little bit more consistent where they'll go like 5-6 runs every single game. So anyway, I'm looking for a good series. And like I said from the very beginning, I'm still excited about baseball. I know that I'm in the minority here, but hey, listen, it's the World Series. I will watch that over football, hockey, NBA, anything else we got going on any day of the week.
I mean, it's going to be an uphill battle for the Yankees.
It'll be on multi-view for me.
Oh, the 4-screen split.
The 4-screen split.
Yeah. So okay, I mean, I think we're pretty much done with World Series talk. Mike, what is your prediction before we move on?
How many games are y'all going to win it in? Is what he's asking.
I told you. The Dodgers in 6.
Dodgers in 6. Okay, that's believable. I mean, this is going to be a big challenge for the Yankees, mainly because they played a bunch of AL Central teams getting to where they're at. And, when you look at real quick, I think the Dodgers are a more complete team than the Yankees are, putting my hatred aside. I feel like if you can find a way to shut down Judge and Soto, you're pretty much good to go. I mean, with the Dodgers, they have a slew of guys. They got, besides Betts and Ohtani, Freeman, when he gets back in the lineup, you still got Teoscar Hernandez, Will Smith. You still got them. And then who's their second baseman again? He's a younger kid. I can't remember his name. I mean, they still have Tommy Edman too. He's playing shortstop, but they have I don't know. I can't remember his name. It'll come to me.
Betts playing shortstop.
But for the Yankees, dude, Stanton has been mashing the ball this postseason.
Yeah, he has been.
I mean, that's all he does. He either hits home runs or strikes out, but he's still been mashing.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So that was our intro. That was our World Series talk. So we'll get to our big. I mean, it's not really that big. It's more of like beating the dead horse. So a couple days ago, Brian Cashman goes on and decides, now that his team is going to the World Series, he had to do it without having to play the Astros. Again, he wants to cry and boo-hoo about how the Astros stole a World Series from the Yankees. And it's just like, I mean, I don't know, Mike. I don't know if you are on a lot of like Dodgers groups or anything. Do Dodgers still cry about 2017? Or have you guys finally realized that you guys got bitch slapped in game 7? I mean, you guys lost 5-1 in game 7. Blew a lead in game 2 of the World Series. So 2 of the 4 wins that the Astros won were in LA. So
y'all could be able to live it down since y'all cheated. So every single post I've seen, it's always the same thing about how the Astros screwed the Dodgers over for the championship and all that. So I mean, you're not going to hear the end of it. It's the same thing with the Yankees. I've been seeing a lot of shit lately about the same thing about how the Astros screwed them over, and they should have they would have gone that 15-year drought without going to the World Series and all that.
Yeah, no, that's what basically.
Yeah, that was pretty much what the GM Brian Cashman.
And I'm sure the Dodgers never did anything either, right?
Well, of course they didn't.
Hey,
no,
they didn't get caught.
Hey, he didn't get caught.
Yeah,
That's fair enough. It's what my uncle told me a long time ago when I was a teenager. He goes, "You're going to do what you're going to do. You'll never get in trouble if you don't get caught."
Yeah. I mean, so again, it's like it's like you're the GM of the Yankees, right? Probably one of the most historic franchises in the league. Your team literally just clinched the AL pennant. And the first thing that comes out of your mouth is the Astros. It's like, golly, man, I've never seen a team live so rent free in somebody else's head than the Yankees.
That's what I was just about to say.
Golly, it's how about, man, we're excited. We're ready to take on this historic matchup against the Dodgers. It's like, well, we would have been here sooner if it wasn't the Astros. And it's like, dude, quit fucking crying about it. Like,
well, what about what
19
and 22? You know what I mean? Like, all the other years.
I'm sorry. I mean, we could talk about 19. I mean, we could talk about how fucking wild Chapman was. He couldn't throw a strike with his fastball, so he had to come slider. And Altuve knows that his fastball he had no command over, so he just sat on the slider and he hung it. It was pretty much damn near middle.
And Altuve traumatized him.
And he wants to act like he threw some like perfect, Greg Maddux, slider on the down and away.
At his ankles, and he golfed it out.
I mean, so it's like that. If you look back at that video, which I've done many a time, sometimes I get sad, and I just put on old Astros, championship moments. I mean, that slider, he hung that slider.
Was that the game that supposedly Altuve didn't want to open his jersey with the buzzers and all that?
I mean, I just think
that was a regular season game, but well, I guess no.
That was
the game.
That clinched the that was game
pennant.
6, I believe, of the ALCS.
Yeah, that was the pennant.
Yeah, so game, obviously. I mean, I just think that like once all that shit came out about what happened in 2017, it just kind of like tentacled out to all these other things that people wanted to tie back into what happened in 2017. But at the end of the day, fucking Chapman hung a slider to Altuve and he took him yard. That's pretty much what happened. I mean, so Cashman sitting there acting like, his team doesn't, not saying he has every advantage. I mean, but they're spending money like it's going out of business, or it's going out of style.
And they still don't win.
And it's like, I mean, come on, your team just won the AL pennant, and within a day, you're already talking about the Astros. I mean, you're the only thing
we've been a thorn in their side though for how long? I mean, seriously, it's like that we've been the Yankees' nightmare for literally the last 8 years?
Yeah.
7 years?
No, since 2015.
2015,
no,
exactly.
15
when Dallas Keuchel took him out in a one-game wild card.
One game up at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's, I mean, if he wants to talk about it, great. But it's like, and then Chris, I totally agree with you. It's like, what is he even talking about? Like, you're going to the World Series, and the first thing you want to talk about is like, well, it's the Astros this and the Astros
it's their
that.
fault.
It's
their fault. It's their fault, Russo. We haven't been here in 15 years.
Yeah, it's like
it's
like that lineup.
Sorry, we've been better.
Has been the most feast or famine lineup like in the last 8 years. They just finally had to try to make it more balanced by bringing in Verdugo, bringing in Juan Soto. But it's just like, I mean, that would be like the Astros winning the World Series or going to the World Series and be like, yeah, man, we would have been 3 years in a row if it wasn't for the Rangers and Chapman,
the Nationals.
or if it wasn't for the Nationals, really we're going to blame AJ Hinch for taking out Greinke. It's just like, listen, bro, enjoy your victory. You're going to the World Series. You have a chance to win a title. Quit being a bitch. Move on. It's like you're like that girl that just won't get over the fact that you got dumped. Get over it. 7 years ago, 8 years ago, get the fuck over it. Move on. Just move on. Right? So now I have to kind of root for the Dodgers because I'm done. Like, I'm done with them.
I'm telling you.
I hope they get swept.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be.
I mean, I like where this is going.
That would be amazing.
I mean, because like mostly like you hear, like the few times I've heard the Dodgers talk shit, right? A lot of it was like right after it went down. I mean, PK, you brought up a couple weeks ago. They talked to Kike Hernandez about the Astros. He's like, dude, I don't give a shit. That was like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And he just moved on, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, and this is the general manager, right? And it's just like, let it go. Good God, let it go.
Look, I'll tell you, before I chose the Dodgers tonight to win, the consensus here at the Kirkland house was the Dodgers because of the blue, just because of the uniform color. I mean,
well, that's pretty much the vibe here. Benny likes Ohtani, so yeah.
I mean, for Ohtani's sake, I'm good with that.
Mandy thinks Aaron Judge is probably the ugliest person she's ever seen, so I guess that kind of works too.
He is pretty ugly.
So,
and I can't stand Soto and his Soto thing that he does.
Now we're gonna.
How old is he again?
He's only 25.
He's like 12.
You hear fucking Joe Buck fucking ripping one out to the side.
I think he's like 24. He's like young. That's what's crazy is that he's still stupid young.
Yeah, I mean
I know, gentlemen. He's coming up to bat, and he's only 21 years old. If I didn't say it once, I'm going to say it again. He's 21 years old.
It's like when we played the Nationals. I don't know if y'all know, but Rendon's from Bel Air. You know, like every 2 breaths, you had to let us know that Anthony Rendon was from Bel Air. So,
well, have they announced who's going to be calling those games? Because I would assume they're going to try to squeeze Bob Costas in there because that dude blows the Yankees like. You know, like he owes.
I kind of hope
he is so boring too, man.
No, he's just a no. You're good, man. You're good. I can't stand Casas. He's such a fucking homer, dude. Like I just and he's not good. He's not good. No. I kind of hope they do the Fox team with John Smoltz. I
like John Smoltz too.
Smoltzy's all right. I like him.
I like the was that TNT the one that did AJ Brzezinski? Like I thought that he was going to be terrible at it.
He's always pretty too. He's always pretty decent. Brzezinski is. So I like listening to like a
AJP, dude. Come on.
You rather Joe Buck over Costas?
Oof.
Yes. 1,000%.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Although you wouldn't like him because all he's going to do is, like I said, the second Juan Soto comes out, they're going to have to go to a commercial break so he can clean up himself. Like the guy's in love with Soto. Like I'm telling you, like that's all we heard during that World Series. It's like it got so bad that he even got a meme of him getting a Soto tattoo on his back because that's all we heard is he's only 21.
Was that bad?
Yeah, dude, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not a Joe. I'm not a Joe Buck fan at all. But like I said, if it's between him and Casas, I'm taking Joe Buck all day.
Yeah, that team that they had was that was the John Smoltz team. I was going to say the crew that did the 2022 World Series. I thought they did.
I just like hearing a pitcher's perspective on like how he would pitch to the, to certain hitters.
Yeah.
It's just cool to hear. Like the catcher, like when Brzezinski does it, I mean, he's pretty good because he's calling it behind the plate, right? But I don't know. The pitcher's point of view is always pretty cool to listen to.
Yeah. It's kind of like
I just hate AJP as a person. That's my problem.
Oh, he's kind of a douche.
He was, dude, catcher for the White Sox 2005. Get out of here.
Is that when he punched, dude? Isn't that when he punched the other catcher in the face?
No, the other catcher punched him in the face. But I think what Bryles is talking about is so they were playing the Angels, and I think the divisional series.
World Series?
No, because they played the Astros in the World Series that year. And first, I think it was more of like the umpire's terrible call. So I don't know who it was, but AJ Brzezinski was supposed to get the third out, I think, to end like I don't know what it was, but they said that the ball hit the ground or they said the catcher didn't catch it. And so they kind of called it like a swinging third strike in the dirt where the catcher's got to make the throw to first base. And that pretty much they rallied from that and then beat the Angels. Or maybe they're in the ALCS. I don't know. I just remember it was the Angels. He got some bullshit call, and they ended up coming back and winning the game, which they should have been done. And then that leads to the horrible umpire in the 2005 World Series, which I'm not even going to get into.
The Jermaine Dye foul ball that wasn't a foul ball,
or the
so that Konerko could hit a grand slam on the next pitch.
God, that got kicked
me out
of
a Jeff Blum home run to win the game on my birthday.
Yeah,
that piece of shit.
That grand slam got me kicked out of a sports bar in Kings Bay, Georgia, because I was drunk as shit, and then that was dude, I like some old people. Like I guess they were sitting there, I guess trying to have a nice evening. Fucking dick.
At a bar.
Yeah. Chest bump the cop.
No, that was back when I came home and I chest bumped the cop.
Yeah, so. That's not what you do.
No,
you don't.
I got to hear this story, but we'll do that after the podcast.
Sidebar.
So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Cashman needs to man the fuck up. Get over it. You lost. right? I mean, you can't blame the Astros. I mean, they didn't even make the playoffs last year, so I guess that was the Astros, the 2017 Astros fault as well.
Yeah, it always is.
Bryles, you sent us an article, and this is kind of be our climax of the episode. And when I read it, I was just like, I was like, oh shit, okay.
Is it a real article?
Just before we get
into it? No, that was real. Yeah. That was not fake news.
Okay.
So, Bryles, since you sent us the article, I'll let you go ahead and take us into it.
All right. Well, the whole article was breaking down how we're going to be able to afford keeping like Framber Valdez, how we're going to be able to keep Bregman, how we're going to be able to keep Tucker, all these guys. And one of the things that we're talking about is trying to shop Hader and trade him away so we can actually fit everybody into the budget. And to be completely honest with you, it makes sense. A couple of things, if you want to look back at our year that we had, it's like Presley way underperformed. And one of the things I will say about that is closers obviously are going to perform the way closers do. If you put them in that pressure situation, they're going to do what they're supposed to do. If you put them in like an 8th inning, a 7th inning, we've seen this all over from multiple teams. They don't perform like a closer. They end up screwing up. It's just, I don't know what it is. Is it the pressure? Is it, not being in the right situation? Is it not hearing your music come out every time you come up? I don't know what it is, but whatever that is, he underperformed. And Hader, not only he underperformed the first 2-3 months.
That was a minute.
He looked pretty bad. Yeah,
he started off.
He was
not muy bueno.
Not earning.
No, and that's. And that was the whole Astros team. Don't get me wrong. It's like the whole team looked dead at the beginning of the month, or for the first month, excuse me. But Hader's contract, I'm not going to say it's an albatross right now because he really pitched well at the end. But with him pitching really well at the end, you're also looking at the fact that maybe we could even sell him for, I don't know, some really good players coming back that might be MLB ready. We've got some outfield stuff that we need to take care of. But the biggest part is we've got to take care of the contracts with the guys in-house first. So that was kind of where that article went. And yes, that was a legit article. This is not something from like one of these, weird Twitter accounts that you see that are just like parody accounts that are saying like, oh, so-and-so said this and this and that. It was a legit, article. It was written by a legit sports writer. And I totally agree with it. It makes sense. Now, is it actually happening right now in the background while we're going on this podcast? I have no idea. And I don't think any of us do. I don't think any of us see anything that's going to happen. And one of the things the Astros are really good about is hiding everything that they do. I mean, even if it's injuries.
No, man, that's unlike them to do that.
No, Tucker, hey, he's got a bruise on
his
leg.
Bruise. For 3 months.
Don't worry, he'll be back next week. Yeah.
Or the Javier with the
he has a crick in his
neck cramp that turned into Tommy John.
He slept wrong.
/ Tommy John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, PK. Let me hear your feedback on that.
Okay. So this is not looking at hindsight 2020, right? When I didn't really talk about it whenever they first announced the signing of Hader. I know, Chris, you were stupid pumped about the signing for Hader, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, it's a big deal. He's been one of the best ones over the last several years, right? Even though I was excited about it, I wasn't like, oh, damn, like this is the dude, because we've had Presley for the last several years and he's been doing his thing in the ninth. It was a lot of money to give up, a lot of money. That's a lot of money for a closer. So, first reaction to the article that you sent, Bryles, I'm good with it. See ya. Bye. Right? Now,
me too.
You're probably going to have to find a closer because Presley's probably not going to – you're not going to move him back to 9, right? I think he's up for arbitration this year.
No.
Presley's got a club option,
I
believe, or mutual option.
Yeah, he's got a mutual option.
So –
I see that differently.
I say you send him. You send them, man. You send them away, and you get back what you get back. Now with the Fromber thing, I don't know if I don't know if I trust Fromber enough to not be the postseason Fromber that we've seen, where you can't really count on him. Like cool regular season guy, and he got us through the back half of the season, with the run that he went on, but he didn't do. His postseason career stats aren't that good, and I know Chris hates it when people talk about postseason stats, right? So I say you get rid of Hader and you get back what you can. Your farm system is garbage, right? So you're gonna have to start replenishing that. And it's another L though. It's another L on a signing, right? And how much money are the Astros gonna have to eat to move that contract? He's only 1 year into a 6-year deal.
Well, and that's kind of what I was saying, and it's a 5-year deal. But at the same thing that I will say is that with the way he performed in the second half of the season, I think you should be able to get a good return. Now, is it going to be the return like you're saying? Like, are we going to be able to get our money back on the whole situation? Probably not. I mean, we'll have to eat a little bit of it, but we should get some good prospects and hopefully some MLB ready guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, we're going to need at least one outfielder. Now, if we could sign Jason Hayward again, or we could sign Ben Gamble because he caught lightning in a bottle, I'm not saying he's going to do that for the whole season, but if we get that type of a performance for an entire season out of one outfielder and some prospects for Hader, and let Presley come in on a club option, I'm totally good with that, because I totally think that the way that Presley pitched this year was because of him not being in that ninth inning situation. And I trust me, I get it. He came out, he was the very first person to come out to the press and say, hey, look, guys, I'm here to get big outs. That's what I get paid for. I don't care if it's the third inning or the ninth inning. Well, okay, great. I'm glad you came out and said that. But performance and saying things are two way different things. So I honestly, I think we get rid of Hader, get the most we can out of him, and I think we're going to get a pretty good haul, and then just go from there.
You should. All right, Chris.
All right.
He's about to say, "Hold your beer, you idiots." Here.
So when I read the article, I'm on board with it, especially with the teams that they mentioned that were interested. The first team that came up was Baltimore, right? So, and like I get he's on a 5-year, $19 million deal. I mean, but he's still only like what, 28, 29, right?
Yeah, he's young.
So he still probably has another 3 years of prime Hader. I mean, so I don't think you would have to eat as much, or if any. I mean, you look at a team like Baltimore, they're hurting for a closer. Their bullpen, it was trash last year. Their bullpen was trash the year before. So if you can, and again, this is me just spitballing a deal off the top of my head. Like if you could go and make a deal where you send, and we're talking about an elite closer. We're not talking about, we're not talking about Parker Yastrzemski, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, this isn't the
we're not talking about
market.
We're not talking about Joe Kelly, right? 36-year-old Joe Kelly, right? I mean, if you could score something like Colby Mayo, maybe Cade Povich, and maybe another young outfielder,
Ryan Mountcastle.
I just don't think they're going to deal him, because then they'd have a huge hole at first base. So, like, I would say maybe if we could get Mayo, Povich,
that's the A's
maybe,
guys, right?
Huh?
That's the A's dude.
What A's dude?
Mountcastle.
No, he's the first baseman for the Orioles.
Who's the dude that crushes with Oakland? Has like 38
That's
bombs.
Lawrence Butler.
Not the black guy, the other guy. There's another guy. That's not the point. My bad.
Yeah, so
train back on the tracks.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so like if we could work out a deal, maybe get, there's this young kid in Double A, I think, or Single A. I think his name is Enrique Bradfield Jr. Dude's got wheels, right? You swing a deal, Hader, for Mayo, Cade Povich, and Enrique Bradford Jr. You now you can do one or two things, because now you don't have that 19 million right there. So, and the more like I look into this, and maybe this is just the nerd in me coming out, but I like all the options that the Astros have now. Even if they trade Hader and they let's say they don't bring back Bregman. That's a huge chunk of money that you can put because again, we've got more holes, having bringing Bregman back, which I would assume, which could be dangerous. You bring Bregman back, and that's probably going to be your big off-season signing. You're not going to, you're going to hope that you can catch something that McCormick can replicate what he did in 2023. You can hope that Jake Myers is going to get hurt and then someone else can play center field, right? And and then you still have all the holes, right? This team, we saw them get in again, short series Detroit, but you saw what happened. I mean, so it's not like this team was ALCS Game 7 and Bregman was hurt, so we missed Bregman's bat. But on the flip side of trading Hader, right? And I will say this, Bryles, I think if you trade Hader, I think you automatically put Abreu in the closer role. So, if you look at Presley, he kind of fell off at the end of 2023 as well. So the signs were there. You're just hoping, maybe arm fatigue. This team is, consistently, pitching deep into October, but I think a lot of it is if you can, if you're Dana Brown, you sell it as my coach, my manager misused Josh Hader. Because we've all said before about how he misused Josh Hader. So I am surprisingly, I'm all for it.
I'm actually really surprised. But if you look at what the Yankees did to their setup man was their closer at the beginning of the year, right? I don't know if you know that, but he was, and now he's their 8th inning guy, and he's been mowing them down.
Yeah.
And then they got this kid that looks like he weighs 110 pounds as their closer, and is throwing straight gas, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's what you were alluding to with, moving Presley. Like you struggled at 23, move him to the 8th inning. Essentially got 2 closers, right?
Yeah.
And your 8th and 9th guy, but it didn't really work out that way. And then the fact that you put, Spotter brings Hader. Spotter brings him in the 9th in a tie game to bring him back in the 10th, and then we lose. We were terrible in extra innings. The management of Hader overall, I understand that the guy wanted to, now that he had his full contract and he was secure, he had the multi-year deal, he said he'd pitch at any situation at any time, any day. I really don't think Espada should have taken that literally.
Or you shouldn't have said it. So
that's a rookie manager.
It's
too,
like,
right?
Dude, you're the 9th inning guy only. That's it. Period.
Yeah. I think that if you were to move Hader, and let's say in this hypothetical, you do get that package from Baltimore. Colby Mayo's ready to play every single day. And he could play third or he could play first. So if you want to bring in a guy, like a veteran guy that you can kind of slowly ease Mayo into playing third base every day, or you can stick him at first base and, bring Singleton off the bench.
Yeah, I'll give you the text that I sent you every single day during the season. Can he play first base?
Yeah,
can anybody play first base? Jeez.
We acquired so and so. Can he play first base?
Play first also. What's his secondary position?
I just feel like getting a good reliever. The good relievers now. I think we've passed that market where mid-range relievers were getting $10, $12 million a year. So I feel like you can get good relief arms, for pretty decent price on the free agent market. Plus, you still have Forrest Whitley down in AAA that needs to be stretched out, needs to be seen what he can do outside of an inning and a third at a time. So I'm all for it. Like I said, the more money that they let walk or trade, I just feel like that gives you so much more. And again, too, as far as flexibility to where you're not going to find Alex Bregman's twin in free agency. You're not going to find Josh Hader's twin in free agency. But it frees you up to where you can make a legit serious offer, going back to our episode 2 talk we had about Bregman versus Tucker. So now you can say, okay, Tucker, you'll be that one guy that we give the 10-year deal to for $35 a year. And that, we've been able to, secure these other holes maybe for, You know, I mean, like anybody's better right now than Chaz McCormick in left field, right? Even if it is Tommy Pham, even if it is, you know, I mean, even if it is, any guy that's a
obscure left fielder.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, like, you pretty much, yeah.
Give me Jason Hayward, man. Don't out there.
Could,
but like if you put Hayward in, if you like,
but Hayward's not an everyday
if you bring
player,
back, if you bring back Hayward,
it would have to be.
He's not an everyday guy.
Yeah, he would have to be
a spot guy,
depth guy, and I would probably bring him back if you had younger outfielders. Like, I mean, McCormick doesn't need any type of guidance. He's been up for about 3-4 years now. Same thing with Myers. I mean, like, you need someone like if you're going to keep Hayward on the team, then you need a young outfielder that he can mentor and show him how to prepare for every single at bat, how to prepare for every single game. Like, maybe if you're going to give the reins to Pedro Leon in center field, or you jump the gun and you give left field to Jacob Melton, that's when you bring a guy like like Hayward back, just to say, hey, Melton is yours. You're his, baseball dad. And that's your job. That's your role this season. So,
well, let's talk to the Hayward expert, Dodger Mike. What you got?
Mike knows.
He loves Jason Hayward. He's got a Jason Hayward tramp stamp.
I actually I like what he did for you when he first got the Offseason.
Yeah, no, look, he came in clutch, man.
Didn't seem like an everyday player.
Well, he's old. I mean, he's like 34, 35.
He's defensive guy at this point, right? And he runs into hard hit balls like he did during the season. I mean, it was a good little spark that we had with him, but he still hit 210. When he came over, the same as he was doing with the Dodgers.
Yeah, right? He's either hitting laser home runs, or it's like a strikeout, right?
Or laser line drives to first base with the bases loaded to end the game.
Yeah, to end game one of the divisionals for the wild card. Yeah.
So that make me throw things across.
The thing is, man, look, we can't go into the season again with our core players 1 through 4. Let's just say 1 through 4. Let's say Bregman does walk, right?
Okay.
So you've got Alvarez, Tucker, Altuve, Diaz, and let's just throw Pena in there for conversation's sake. So 5 guys, right? So now you've got new first base, new third base, outfield. You're going to have to piece together all 4 of those. We've talked about this for, I don't know, 6 months now, right? And you can't roll out a Ben Gamble every single day. That guy got lightning in a bottle for the time he was with us till he got hurt.
Yeah.
Hayward, like we just talked about, can run into a few, right? Good defensive, but we've had a 208 batter in the outfield. See Jake Myers, essentially, right? See Dubon, Moreno's favorite guy. So you got to go. You got to get better players. I mean, I know it's easier said than done, but there has to be easier players. And with the money that we would be saving I still think you have to figure out how much money we're going to have to eat, because you can't move that entire contract.
I think you can probably move a good chunk of it. Like, I think you can maybe
retain. I think you're going to be on the hook for at least half. You got to.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so.
Yeah, man. No one's going to take that.
Not with him probably still having 3 years of his top prime. I mean, I would say at the most you eat a quarter of it.
Well, I'm going to bring up from Selena from the chat. She's like saying that, hey, look, if we end up getting rid of Hader, then we can probably keep Bregman and we can also keep Tucker. So if that happens, I mean, whatever the return is going to be, now I'm talking prospects, we're talking about MLB ready players, whatever that is. If we can save enough money on the Hader deal, like Chris and I are talking about, like, there's a possibility we can do it. Now, listen, neither one of us are writing checks. None of us are writing checks for anything on this baseball team. So if Crane comes down and says, hey, look, I'm keeping Tucker, I'm keeping Bregman, but get rid of Hader. Are you taking that deal? As an Astros fan, I am. I'd be more than happy to have that.
Like, I mean, I would be. I would be more on the Tucker, and it's not. I mean, It's a tough decision.
It's stupid
But
tough.
It's
really
tough, but like if I had to choose one, I'm going to go with Tucker. I'd rather have a full season of health. Like if you compare a full season healthy Tucker, a full season healthy Bregman, who's the guy that was getting MVP votes
it was
before he
Tucker
got hurt?
all day, dude. All
Right?
day.
I mean,
I agree.
And again,
but-
I'm not saying because like it's a double-edged sword, because if you let Bregman walk, right, and let's say he goes to Boston, the Dodgers or Arizona or the Yankees,
He could go to LA.
Yeah, so I mean, there's not a Bregman replacement in free agency, and
In the universe, that's the problem.
And for you to get a comparable, and I use that term very loosely, comparable third baseman. One, even if someone is selling it, you don't have the money, aka the minor league talent, to trade to get them. So, like, you'd have to you have to be really high on Bryce Matthews, and you would have to have a transitional year of throwing shit against the wall at third base, whether that's you look at just some random third baseman guy that you sign, right? Or, you could do what I think, you bring in Kevin Biggio.
Oh my God.
Let him play third.
God, dude,
for a little bit until you got to do something. Everybody in the city of Houston's hearts are going to be broken with the departure of Bregman.
Dodger
might as well heal it with
y'all
Biggio.
had Kevin Biggio. Do they get rid of players?
He didn't go deep for us against y'all.
Yeah, okay. He tore it up in Houston. Every time he comes to Houston,
one game, one series.
I'm gonna look because
they don't let good players walk. No team. I'm just saying.
That's not true because we let JD Martinez walk, and look what he turned into.
Well, he wasn't good.
Look at the 6 teams that let Jose Batista walk, and look what he turned into. Again, we're talking about needles in a haystack.
They're not good. They're not good at the moment, is what I'm getting at.
Chris is holding on to something. I get it. Don't get me wrong, because I want to see Kevin Biggio here too, but I would rather see Kevin Biggio as our utility guy, not necessarily like starting in a position every single day, every single game.
You rotated him out with Dubon at third base until Bryce Matthews ready. Then you hand it over.
No, put
I
Dubon back on the bench, dude. I'd rather have Biggio at third than
I'm
Dubon.
Looking at solutions if Bregman walks. I think if Bregman walks, you trade Hader. Like that's pretty much a hand-in-hand decision. Because
but the other thing is Dubon should never be starting for us.
I agree
all the time. And if he does,
I don't even think he should be on our roster. If you ask me, my personal thoughts.
That's not what you said in your State of the Union address to your fan club.
That's not.
I heard it.
It's like we are the Knights of the Dubon.
The Knights of the Dubon. The Knights of the Dubon.
The Knights of the Dubon.
There's still. It's a very interesting article, and so
yeah, I'm glad you found it because it was.
It definitely raises a lot of questions, and like I said, the more money we shed, like I think the more possibility. Like I almost feel like that due to Moneyball. It's like, with these, I don't want to call them ragtag. Because this team is not a bunch of ragtag players, but like, you let. Like just Bregman and then you trade Hader. That's almost $50 million right there. And you
find multiple.
I thought I read something too that Bregman might retire.
There's no way.
Man.
He may. He just got his old lady knocked up again.
That's the reason.
I don't think there's a reason to retire.
He got her pregnant.
That dude could never play baseball again. He's set for life, and his 2 kids are set for life too. And their grandkids.
Look, this is the first time he's going to hit free agency, man.
I'd say him and McCullers could just do HEB commercials for the rest of their lives and make millions and millions of dollars. Right?
I forget about McCullers all the time. Dude.
I think I've seen McCullers more in the HEB commercials actually done on the field.
That's because you have.
Oh no, that's a guarantee.
That's because you have.
You have.
Yeah, no, we're paying him I don't know what, $10 million a year, and I think HEB's paying him $15 million.
No, so his contract was $85 million.
He's getting $15 a year for the next 3 years
to be a barista,
to be
to do HEB commercials,
or
to be a commercial movie star.
and a local HEB movie star.
Not even like a real, not even like a national chain.
Texas only, baby.
He's just selling salsa and having a great time.
And picking up Altuve with his busted arm.
Yeah.
No wonder he can't pitch.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a very interesting article. And I do think, like you said, your plan A is to, I mean, I just don't see, I know Hader got hot, but it's not like he was Hader of like 2023 with the Padres.
Nope.
So, and I feel like you can get that same production out of Brian Abreu for a quarter of the price.
I like Abreu as a closer, man. I think he's nasty enough, like not just his pitches, but like just his attitude, the way he carries himself.
Yeah, I mean, I just think them not having a long reliever killed them all season. They did not have a long reliever, which means that if like those days that freaking Hunter Brown was getting tore up for 9 runs in the first inning, you didn't have a guy that you could put in there and say, "Hey, give me 4 innings."
Well, we had Belak at that time, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, but we went on a stretch where at least maybe a 20-game stretch for like 8 of those games, our starters were out by the 3rd inning. So you can't throw Belak there every single other day. So,
well, he's the base, so it doesn't matter now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a fantastic article. Like it really got the brain moving as far as like, man, that's what would I do? Really, honestly, it would depend on the package because I think there was 3 teams. Once I saw Baltimore, like I had like the love the love sign because I'm like, oh, there's probably the best farm system in the league right there. Well, I mean, it's so.
Right,
Man, I guess Browns was like, man,
I'm out of here. Y'all are boring.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, so I think we've come to a point where we, could go ahead and.
Bryles thought so. Bryles
was like, man, he said, screw the outro. I'm out of here.
I don't even want to sign off.
Yeah, he's like, man, you can throw me on the HEB commercials with McCullers. So once again, I want to thank Dodger Mike for coming out, for holding up his end of the bargain. Mike, before you leave, let me just I'll meet you in the middle. Let me hear 2 nice things about the Astros. Hold on. Wait. Browse is back. He came back. He was contractually obligated to come back to do the outro. So
that's correct.
So, so our friend Dodger Mike is going to give us 2 things that he enjoyed positively about the Astros, and then we will sign off. And so, Mike, the floor is yours.
The floor is yours, my friend.
First thing I'll say, always like Altuve. He's been the only Astro that actually thought was actually any good besides Dallas Keuchel. Number 2, let me think of something.
Yeah.
I think where credit's due. I fucking can't stand Alex Bregman, but he played good for the last part of the season, and that's my 2 things.
Okay. Well, you said you can't stand Bregman. What happens if he signs with the Dodgers? You're gonna protest it?
You're gonna buy a jersey.
And I see you there with your Dodger.
No.
I see you there with your dial-up internet.
Had it advertised.
So you would not be for the Dodgers?
I wouldn't argue Bregman coming. No, I'm not Bregman for the Dodgers. If we did bring him on, I would deal with it just like how to deal with Gerald Green playing for the Rockets. But no,
that's another story offline.
Mike, we're doing cross MLB NBA trades.
Oh man,
Chris knows the deal with that one.
Yeah, that's another off camera story. Yeah.
All right, Bryles. Before we get on out of here, what was your? There was one thing you want to talk about the World Series, the picks, or?
Yeah. No, I'm going to go with my gambling minute if you guys don't mind for
go ahead.
Real quick.
Go ahead, Degenerate.
All right.
Go
ahead. Thanks, PK. Appreciate that.
Hey, but I'm right there with you though. So it's like we're good.
All right, so there's a couple things that I saw after going over all the numbers that we've got, and don't get me wrong, don't come and say that I did it great, I did it wrong, whatever the case may be. If you're looking at World Series MVP, your favorite Shohei Ohtani, Judge is number 2. I'm saying throw both of those away. Your 2 value bets are Juan Soto and Mookie Betts. They're both plus 600. So listen, if you're a Dodger guy out there, take Mookie Betts. If you are a Yankee fan, take Juan Soto, because I think both those guys have the potential to easily win the MVP over Ohtani and Judge. Now, don't get me wrong, Ohtani does perform under pressure. Judge does not. So I'm saying take both those, throw them away, go for your plus 600 guys. Also, if you're looking for value, just in the series right now, the Dodgers are heavily favored. And like I said at the beginning, I don't think that their starting pitching can handle it. So if you're looking for value in that, I would say take the Yankees. And then as far as tomorrow is concerned, you've got absolute amazing pitching from both teams. Take the under at 7. I honestly think for game 1, you're looking at a 2-1 game, and this is going to be long, hard fought, like hard outs. Everything's going to happen when it's come to that. So game 1, take your unders.
There we go.
That's my 1 minute.
I'm going to put my Monopoly money on Tommy Edman winning the World Series MVP.
Ooh, I would look that up for you real quick. Tommy Edman is plus 2,500.
Yeah,
so a $1 bet will win you $25.
Whole dollars. Whole dollars.
Nice. I like it. Mike will go to HEB and buy some of Lance McCullers coffee on me.
Ooh, and some Breggy salsa.
Yeah, get you some Breggy Bomb salsa while you're at it.
Yeah, so.
Well, cool. Dr. Mike, it was a pleasure, man. It's good to meet you. We've been playing online for minutes, so it's good to meet you. Guys,
good to meet you, buddy.
Sir,
let's go. Dodgers in 6. I'm DK.